Question. You state that Brahman is inside, outside, and present everywhere. There is no place where Brahman doesn't exist. Then why do you ask us to seek it inside?
Maharishi, you presume that you exist inside. Hence, I ask you to seek the Brahman inside. You are aware of the I thought, which originates from inside. Brahman exists in its source. When you realize the self, you understand that Brahman is both the all-pervading one and the origin of the I thought you seek inside. It is possible only when you become the purest of the pure and when your mind gets introverted.
Question. Why do you eat and sit here in Arunachala? Why don't you roam around the country and preach?
Maharishi, you presume that the gross work visible to the naked eye alone constitutes work. The work done can be subtle too. When you lack subtle intellect, you cannot grasp the subtle work done. The work done by a jnani is the subtlest of the subtle. You can understand it only by possessing subtle intellect. The preachings and scriptures are helpful to a certain extent to beginners in their spiritual practices. They alone are not sufficient to reach the goal. Silence is most powerful. It releases you from your habits and causes of rebirth.
Question. We have come to Arunachala only for your sake. Why don't you shower your grace upon us?
Maharishi, whoever has brought me to Arunachala is the same one who has brought you here. Whoever has bestowed me with jnana, the same one will bestow you also with the jnana. One who will bless you with jnana cannot be different from the one who has bestowed me with jnana. One and only one God exists. The same Lord who has showered His grace upon me will also bestow His grace upon you.
Question. Bhagavan, you have become God effortlessly without performing any spiritual practices. How can you understand our hardships and miseries?
Maharishi, I might have experienced those hardships and miseries you are referring to in the previous births.
Sri Nanagaru's comments. Bhagavan never glorified himself or referred to himself as a god incarnation descended on this planet. Bhagavan prescribed the path of self-inquiry. He never enforced the same upon anyone. He gave you the freedom to tread the spiritual path of your liking.
Question. How are you so calm and composed despite being criticized?
Maharishi, though you may not understand why they criticize me, I know the intention behind their criticism. Then how can I afford to get perturbed?
Question. Everyone is advising me to attain self-realization. I am doing hard work in that direction but don't see any spiritual progress. Why is it so?
Maharishi, as long as the body-related tendency prevails, you cannot realize the self. When you declare, I have done spiritual practices, it implies that the body-related tendency did not reduce. When the body-related tendency isn't reduced, there is no trace of the self-related tendency. When the body-related tendency gets annihilated, the self is revealed.
Question. Whomsoever I help, they turn out to be my enemy. Why is it so?
Maharishi, even this enmity relates to the mind. How do you lose if they become your enemy? You, anyhow, get separated from them after your death. Now that separation is happening a little beforehand. How do you lose by this separation? If you remember that separation is inevitable after death and you are getting separated ahead, all this would seem to be trivial. When you get separated from someone, it is your mind that gets disturbed. Once the identification with the mind is lost, there is nothing to worry about.
Question. I am deeply hurt when someone rebukes me. How can I overcome it?
Maharishi. Let them rebuke till their mouth feels the pain. Once their mouth starts experiencing the pain, they will stop it on their own.
Sri Nanagaru's comments. Once you start arguing, you will lose energy. Be compassionate towards those who rebuke. Don't get emotional about being criticized. Bhagavan is more concerned about the eradication of our ignorance. Bhagavan's state is a great one that cannot be understood by ordinary people.
Question. How is it that you didn't get bitten by the snake which crawled on your body?
Maharishi. The snakes usually crawl on the walls and bushes. Do they bite the walls and bushes? No. Don't they have any other task other than biting others? If you get frightened on seeing them, they also get frightened in return. It is then that they bite you out of fear.
Question. My only child, aged 3 years, has died, and my grief is inconsolable. How shall I overcome it?
Maharishi. A renounced mind, a devout mind develops the required strength and tolerance to face any grief like dear one's death.
Sri Nanagaru's comments. Devotion has its advantages. It gives tolerance, courage, intelligence, self-confidence, and goodness. It is the wealth that accompanies even after death. Devotion has the power to turn grief into delight. Devotion has many divine qualities, along with courageous tolerance.
నీవే తల్లి తండ్రివి, నీవే గురువు దైవము, నీవే తల్లి తండ్రివి, నీవే గురువు దైవము. ఓ అరుణాచల ఓ పరశివుడ వందనమయ్యా వందనము. ఓ అరుణాచల ఓ పరశివుడ వందనమయ్యా వందనము. నీవే తల్లి తండ్రివి, నీవే గురువు దైవము. జగన్మాయపు జలనిధిలోన మునిగిపోక ముందే వచ్చితివి. జగన్మాయపు జలనిధిలోన మునిగిపోక ముందే వచ్చితివి. రక్షణ చేసి సుపథము చేర్చే, రక్షణ చేసి సుపథము చేర్చే జ్ఞానపు జ్యోతిని తెచ్చితివి. నీవే తల్లి తండ్రివి, నీవే గురు దైవము. నీదరి నిల్చితి నిర్మలాత్మ నీ దయగలుగ నిత్య ప్రశాంతి నీదరి నిల్చితి నిర్మలాత్మ నీ దయగలుగ నిత్య ప్రశాంతి నీ శుభనామము ఆనందమయ్య నీ శుభనామము ఆనందమయ్య కరుణాచలమే భద్రము దేవా నీవే తల్లి తండ్రివే నీవే గురువు దైవము ఓ అరుణాచల ఓ పరశివుడ వందనమయ్యా వందనము నీవే తల్లి తండ్రివే నీవే గురువు దైవము